Hello, everyone. Here we are. Tonight we're doing a special webinar with 4 insider hacks to Google My Business. I have my special guest, Michael Rayburn, who is a Google My Business expert on the webinar with me. Before we get started, though, I need to do a quick sound check because I've been known to do these webinars and nobody's actually listening to me or maybe something's not set right. So I want to make sure before we continue, let's do a quick sound check. If you guys could put into the chat area a quick yes or why or yay or hey or something just to let me know. Thank you, Bill. Thank you, Nate. Thank you, Craig. Thank you, Bob. I know we got more of you on there. Thank you, Mike. More of you. Come on, guys. Let me know. Thank you, Blake. All right. Well, that's good enough for right now. Frank, perfect, guys. Thanks. All right. So a little bit about Michael. Michael, after high school, Michael actually joined the Army, and he gave 7 years of service in the Army, and he was medically retired. Michael's been in the digital marketing world since 2001. That's a long time to actually be in the digital marketing world. So he's got a good, well-rounded history. He started selling items on eBay way back in the day, and then he realized that he needed a website. And that's where his journey into the digital marketing world really started. At that time, he was actually in the jewelry industry. And after building up his brick and mortar business, many of his friends started asking for help with their website and with their Google My Business. It's kind of almost what happened to me in the cleaning industry. And then after the word had spread, it slowly turned into a full-time business. And in 2001, he opened up Michael Rayburn Seo, and he helped many clients achieve new heights. Michael's known in the industry. I've known him in the industry through other SEO professionals as being able to rank just about anything. And that's why I wanted to have him on. And there are many other agencies like myself that reach out to him on a regular basis asking for help on individual products. In 2019, after moving, Michael opened SEO DC inside Washington, DC, and now he helps people who want to start an SEO company. He helps them build their businesses. And he currently runs a Facebook group called Bulletproof SEO, and he has over 3,200 members, and he has helped well over 5,000 people with their Google My Business and SEO projects. So, Michael, welcome. I'm thrilled to have you on here, thrilled to be able to do this interview with you tonight.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. It's an honor.
I appreciate you hopping on. So first thing, just as a little intro, everybody here probably is here because they understand this, but nonetheless, I'm going to go ahead and let you know Google My Business is super important. In fact, when a new cleaning company comes to me and says, hey, John, I'm thinking about starting a cleaning business, what's the first thing that I should do? Even before a website, even before you do a logo, really before anything, go ahead and set up a Google My Business profile and do some things to optimize it. That's exactly why I wanted to do this course. Super important, and it's free. It's free to do all of the things that we're going to talk. Well, maybe not every single thing, so we might give you a few things that might cost a little bit of money to do here and there, but for the most part, to do basic optimization in Google My Business, it's completely free. So tonight, yes, we're going to give you 4 insider. Actually, we changed that. We couldn't limit it to 4, so we're going to give you 5 insider hacks that are surely going to help you. Now, here's the thing, all cards on the table. I do have a course for sale that I've mentioned to my ad club members that I'll be mentioning later on in the webinar. This tonight is kind of the intro to the course and the basic 101 part of the course that, yes, just from tonight alone, you're going to get something very, very valuable. But I did want to give you guys an opportunity for some of you who want to learn more about Google My Business and really get in and really dominate it in all aspects. I want to give you guys an opportunity to join up with the course that we're about to start, and we're going to launch that here in just a few days. More about that later. Again, just so there's no surprises and shocks. Now, I did want everybody to know, sometimes I still get asked, like, where do you sign up for Google My Business? And here is the link. I'm going to put it into the Demio chat area right here. If you already have a Google My Business profile, clicking on this link and signing into a Google account that you have. If you have more than one, you might have to sign into a couple of different accounts to find out which account you've actually got that signed up with. But that's kind of how you find your way into that. I almost hesitated to give you guys that right now because I don't want you getting lost with getting into your Google My Business profile. Instead, be here, guys. Be here with us. We're about to go over some very intricate, very technical, but yet once we explain it to you, very easy to understand stuff. So without further ado, let's hop. And are we going to take questions eventually? Maybe, I don't know. Depends. We're going to try to limit this to an hour. It's possible we'll have time for a few at the end. Please save your questions in the chat area until the end. If you have comments, sometimes as we're going through, I might be able to see them, by the way, but I may or may not. But feel free to make a comment if you have a question for clarification, that type of thing. And you can put that in the Demio chat area at any time that you want to. So hack number one, Michael, let's talk about the importance of getting reviews and getting reviews consistently. What is the key to hacking that?
Okay, so obviously you have to you have to be in front of clients and getting clients in order to get that. What we usually do is what we've learned, most of the time, if you don't get that review on the spot, it becomes very difficult to get, right? Like the percentage of it, you getting it like just drops down drastic. So what we encourage everybody to do is to say, hey, when, like, if I'm a carpet cleaner, when I'm done with cleaning this carpet, if you really like it, I'll tell you what, I'll knock $5 off or whatever it is, right? If I can get a review from you. But if you don't like it, then it's fine, right? But if you like it, let me get a review from you. And you can actually do it right from your phone and stand there and wait for them to do it.
Now, let me ask you a couple of keys about that. I'm getting a couple of comments that your voice is too loud. Is anybody else? I don't know if there's a way to.
Voice is loud? Okay, I can just move my mic up.
Moving it a little bit.
There we go.
So a couple of things about that. Now, you don't want them to do, or do you want them to do the review on your phone, like take your phone and give it to them, or their own phone?
Their own phone. So yeah, because believe it or not, they're logged in there, so they can do the review right from there. Like, you can say, if you want, I'll even open it for you, so that way they can write the review for you. And then the neat thing is like, you can also try to prompt them to use certain keywords or terminology. So if you're a window washer or window cleaner, right, depending on what your main keyword would be, or a pressure washer, you could try to get them to say pressure washing, pressure washer, and say if you'd be kind enough to even include the city, that would be fantastic. And so what you're doing is you're gently pushing them to tell them what to say even. And by doing that, Google picks up on all of this stuff that happens. And one thing that a lot of people don't talk about when it comes to the reviews that's really crazy that I've seen in the past is when you can start to create velocity with that, like as you start to grow your business, it can actually move you up in the rankings because you're getting so many reviews.
Right. And so it's better. Is it better to get 100 reviews in 1 week and then no reviews for 4 weeks and then another 100 reviews, or to get 25 reviews every week?
So ideally, you're gonna do it, but it's gonna be ebb and flow, right? Sometimes you're gonna do 40 or 50. Sometimes you're gonna do maybe 5, if that's what your business is at that volume. In the beginning, it's going to be like 1 every 2 or 3 weeks. So, and yeah, absolutely. Somebody said have your customers add a picture on the review, and that does actually really well for when people are reading the reviews that say I want to call them. So that's absolutely
You dropped an insider hack inside of an insider hack, by the way, and make sure everybody was clear on this. Whenever you ask your clients for a review, ask them to put in the name of your city in that review. That's a good key. So don't just ask for a review. Say, hey, and if you can, drop the name of the city. Now, here's the thing that I've always thought about and even experienced in my own cleaning company. We're done with cleaning, and a lot of the times the client, you're there in the home, she's not always ready. It's usually she in our industry. She's not always ready to give you a review at that point. So what are some ways to later on? Because she's busy trying to move furniture back or get the kids corralled or the dogs or the cats, or she's running out the door to do whatever. Sometimes they go, hey, here's lock up when you leave, John. We'll see you later. And they're out if they trust you. So how do you ask those people for a review?
So one of the things is that there's a lot of review software out there, and I strongly suggest as soon as you can afford it that you get it.
But by the way, too, as a side note, in Hitman Advertising, the software that we use, we do include for our Ad Coaching Club members free software that can do that. It can it can remind them through text and send them directly to Google pages, Facebook pages, all that type of stuff. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Absolutely, and that's my point right there. Is that's what the next stage of that comes into play. Is like that software that you offer. Everybody, you get on that. I mean, whatever the price is, it's totally worth it because it's an investment in your business, right? You know, one of the reasons, like when people call us online through our Google My Business, is because the other people have, like, I don't know, maybe anywhere from 8 to 12 reviews, right, in Washington, D.C., because most of the time people complain, but we have, right now, we're sitting at 52 reviews, right? So naturally, when they go 8 or 12, 52, and they're 5 stars, they call us. It's a no-brainer. And the same thing happens to everybody else that's trying to compare apples and oranges online to, cleaner to cleaner to cleaner.
Absolutely. So reviews are super important. Let's recap. It's important to try to get them, if at all possible, to toss your city name inside of the review. The consistency of the review is important. Anything else to add?
No, it's just the big thing with the putting like the city, if you will, in there that's important is because it's part of what's called content strategy. And what you're trying to do is with local businesses, you have 2 problems all the time. You know, the location as well as like what it is that you do. Those are the 2 problems that you're trying to solve. So the nice thing behind it is Google already knows what you do in the Google My Business, and they know where you're at, but all you're doing is you're just reaffirming, which creates more trust with Google, and it makes it easier for you to rank that, which
that's what Google is all about. With Google Ads, with Google SEO, with Google My Business, reaffirming that you are who you said you are. Gone are the days of you put your keywords on your website and now Google believes you. That does not exist anymore. Jeffrey Tobian, actually, he does really good at Google, getting a lot of. He's in Salt Lake City. He's mentioning to label your customer on Google Maps and then take a few pictures. That's a great idea, Jeff. As far as labeling, well, let me make sure I understand what you're saying. Geotagging, right? Geotagging the pictures for sure, and that's something else that we might. But what do you mean by labeling your customer on Google Maps? I'm not sure what you mean by that. And take a few pictures. So we might talk a little bit more about that if we have time at the end for questions for that. So let's move.
I can address the geotag just real quick because it only takes a second. What I would say is, like, that's great if you're going to put it on your website or you're going to share it somewhere else. But in reference to uploading it directly to the Google My Business, you got to remember Google even has limits, right? So every picture takes up space. Instantly, what we've discovered as SEOs is what they do is they compress that, and literally they strip all the data out. So when you take the time to upload all the geotag information into that photo, it gets stripped out as soon as it gets uploaded. So
geotagging is not really a valuable use of time anymore.
It is away from Google My Business.
On your website.
It's not, and it does help the Google My Business, but not on the Google My Business itself.
Gotcha. So use those geotag pictures on your website. Exactly. Perfect. Well, good. So now that we understand reviews, we're going to take some pictures and geotag, which is an advanced topic, by the way, something that I'm sure we'll cover more in depth in the course. Some of you already know about geotagging. I know because I've talked to you about it. But now, after you're getting some consistent reviews, you got your profile set up. What do you do specifically for making sure that your profile is set up well as far as doing secondary categories? Because there's some special secrets that come into really how to set your first category, and that's not so much the big deal, but the secrets of setting your secondary categories. Tell us a little bit about that. And do you want me to turn the screen over to you? I think you can go ahead and start your screen anytime.
Okay, great. Yeah, so one of the things that makes us who we are, and that how it is that we become good at what we do, is we test all the time, right? So I'm going to open up one of our teaching Google My Businesses right now. And in that, I'll show you kind of some neat things. Recently, a friend of ours did some tests who we co-test stuff together. And he came up with some interesting things. So I know this is cleaners, but it can work in the same manners. And this is landscape. So I apologize for
Close
that.
enough.
But what he had done for his test was he took an accident attorney who was basically like an ambulance chaser, if you will, and put in like car sales as a secondary category. And the AI for Google was smart enough to figure out that he didn't sell cars, but he was an accident attorney for like cars and trucks and stuff when he would start showing up for that. So, which goes against what is considered to be traditional, right? Which is that right here, when we click the info button, and if I click right here where it says what we are, and this one is landscaper and lawn care, we can click this and add additional categories, right? So we can actually add up 9 categories. So one of the things that I do as like an expert hack, if you will, is we do deal with window cleaners, for example. So what I'll put as the secondary is I'll put cleaning company, right? So that way it affirms. So they're not the traditional Mary Maid's cleaning company, right. But what it does is that it adds in that, yes, they're cleaning.
Gotcha. So, right? So typically the primary category for a carpet cleaning company, a lot of my guys are carpet cleaning companies, not all of them. We have maid services and stuff too, but let's take carpet cleaning for an example. Primary category would be carpet cleaning. Secondary would be cleaning company. Third might be tile cleaning. Okay.
Right. And it could, you could even do, I mean, depending on, because carpet cleaners, a lot of them do a certain amount of water restoration, right? So you could even include that as well. There's a water extraction.
Excellent. Okay.
So, and then literally you'd click apply in this scenario after you added in all the ones that you could. And then it'll say that it's pending. And at that point, once it goes live, then it'll just say this like it does here. So that's really important though, because let me actually show you one other thing for those of you that are starting, okay? So let's say, you say carpet, well, no, let's say, give me another cleaning one.
So area rug cleaning, that's where it gets kind of weird too, not just rug cleaning, but cleaning area rugs.
Okay, so I put Washington, D.C. because I'm right outside D.C. Okay, so what you'll see is that these are all just say for the primary is carpet cleaning service, right? So that would be one. Cleaning is pretty straightforward for the most part for its categories. I was trying to think of something.
Maid service, but that's still pretty much, right.
So fortunately, it's pretty straightforward. There's some off-the-wall wonky ones where you have to go in and actually search what your main thing is that you do to see what the top 3 pack here have as their category. And that's what you want as your primary. Because what will happen is, let me do a stop sharing just for 1 second.
There is something important that you just said that might be something everybody needs to pay attention to. If you're an area rug cleaning company, your primary category should not be area rug cleaning. It should be carpet cleaning, based on what you just showed me.
Well, not just that, but search it for your area, because each area
could be different.
Could be different. Right. And so that's where you're going to pick your category. And that's what I was going to tell you. So, Google gives the most precedence to the primary category. So if we did circle heat zones, right, for like where all the GMB pen drops would be on a map, it would give a greater zone for you to reach for your primary and smaller for your secondaries. Right. So if you're trying to outrank somebody that has a primary and it's your secondary category, it's much more difficult because of the weight that Google gives you. That's why you do the searching in advance.
Gotcha. Good question here about the different categories. Do you need to have a different web page for each different category and for each of your keywords with each of those web pages?
So that's actually a great question, because Google recently in one of their updates, like in the last 60 days, started showing seen on website or referenced on website in the Google My Business listings, right? So, and that's to fill in some of the categories that are kind of weird. But as far as like cleaning is concerned, it would be a good idea to have a page for each. And it doesn't hurt unless it's something that's like so similar, like let's say carpet cleaning and tile cleaning. I mean, that's all floor cleaning. So that can all flow on one page.
Okay. Excellent. So yeah, and there is no tile cleaning primary category, but you could put it as a secondary category, right?
Is there a tile cleaning one? 'Cause I don't remember there
Maybe
being
it's just
tile
floor
cleaning.
is what you would put that one under.
Yeah, so I mean we can look real fast. Now there's tile contractor. You could technically put that in
I
there.
think I don't remember whose course it was. It might have been Dino's. I can't remember, but somebody's Google My Business course. I figured out that you should put that you're a tile cleaning contractor. That actually helps a tile cleaning company.
Right, and it would, because it references title. It's that one, like what I was just talking about, where yeah, there is no tile one. So the tile contractor, and it's because they would realize that it's cleaning
within that
tile, which is
same genre. Exactly. Good. Okay. Well, anything else to add about the categories?
No, not on the categories. Okay. That's
pretty straightforward, pretty easy. So let's get into directories and making sure. This is something that I see quite often still, even though I've talked about this for 5, 6, 7, 8 years and mentioned to guys, but still making sure all of your directories have the same information in it, specifically the phone number, guys. Make sure that you don't have a different phone number, but even then, make sure it's the same address. Make sure it's the same website, because a lot of you have more than one website. So a lot of problems can come up. So what are some hacks to being able to make sure that all the directory info is the same?
So I'll show you a company that we use. What I would do is, if you ever work with an SEO company, what you'll want to do is ask them to pull a citation audit, for starters, right? That's the big thing right there. The other thing is that Google over time has realized that certain things change. So the one thing that they don't want you to change is your phone number, because that's the unique identifier. But a lot of businesses, like a lot of especially home contracting companies, start off as sole proprietorship, and then they either become an LLC or a corporation, right? So what will end up happening is they'll add that at the end. So now you have variation, but Google is smart enough to oversee that now. Obviously, we want things as 100% across the board as possible, but there's going to be some things like that. Or let's say you forgot to pay for your URL. This happens all the time, right? Somebody else buys it, and then now you got to get the .net, right? So, certain things are forgivable. The phone number, not so much. But what I can do, like just to show you, screen, let's see. And all right, there we go. And so what I've done here is, this was a company that wanted a quote a long time ago. And you can see the citation sources. They had 37 citations. But in this, you can see they had multiple Facebooks, multiple Pinterest.
And just to stop you there, a citation is a listing on a directory website like Yelp, Merchant Circle,
Yelp Reviews, right?
All of those.
So, yeah, exactly. So a citation is literally, like what you said, it's a directory that is citing that you're a legitimate business. It goes back to what I reference all the time, is that Google works in layers of trust, and this is just one of those layers of trust. And it's your foundation, the citation building process for your whole Google My Business. So it's important that we build the foundation the right way. So, but you can see, like I said, they have MapQuest, they have a couple MapQuest, they have a couple Yelps, they have 3 Pinterest, and they have 3 different ones on Facebook. So we would have to go in and at least remove some of those. Because what will happen is that it becomes too much inconsistency, so then you're breaking the trust.
Good. Excellent. So as far as
Yes, I'm sorry. Somebody asked about this. The NAP, yes, the name, address, phone number, and then everybody always forgets the W for a
right,
website.
and then the website as well. So make sure all of that information is the same. How many directories, citations, same thing. How many would you say that would be, for a carpet cleaning company that's in, I don't know, a medium-sized city? How many directories and citations should he have?
So the funny thing behind that is that almost doesn't exist. When it comes to Google My Business, more is more, period,
Right.
the end, right? But you need to get, there are certain things called data aggregators that, if at all possible, that you want, which basically means that you take your citational information, your name, address, phone number, website, and you upload it to this company, and then a lot of these smaller companies pull that information from it. So, and Google trusts those type of places quite a bit. So that's one of those things that moves the needles, because you have to pay to get that.
And it's not probably just some spam website that there's 80 of them, right? And Google knows that.
Right, absolutely. And that's the whole thing, is that, I've had to beat this into so many SEOs' heads that, the citations do matter, right? Like we just did, we just ranked GMB for a window cleaning company, and his phone rings like crazy now, and he's in a big city. And what I would say that is really interesting about his situation is that, and I see this all the time, because we do so many citations, like legitimately we do somewhere between 400 and 450 per client, right, that we take on. And we do that many because it does a couple things. It benefits both the website from all of that information referring back to building trust there, as well as it creates so many backlinks there, but it also benefits the Google My Business. And so one of those great things, by spending a couple extra dollars, I can do like a 2-for-1 for the company, as kind of like just a thank you to work with us, right? But more is more. And I know as business owners, you guys are not going to do 400. I know that. But what I would tell you is do the main ones. Make sure you get your Facebook, your Yelp, your Manta, Yellow Pages if you can.
I usually have a list. In fact, the course that I did on this a couple of years ago, I've got a list of about, I think, 45 of the bigger, the ones that I know I see rank all the time for cleaning companies. For sure, that's what you want to be on. If you ever, and especially if you ever do like a lookup on Google carpet cleaning or whatever your cleaning service is in your city name, whatever directories you see pop up in the first 2 or 3 pages, make sure you're on that one for sure.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. It's really neat. Here's something that's really neat. I'll show you. Just, it only takes 1 second. Let's see. So when we look at this, right, what's neat is when we go to view more, and then let's say that that's an ad. So like, let's say we look at DuPont. When we scroll down to the bottom, a lot of times it'll turn around and list citations, certain citations. Like it's always the website and then whatever is very important. So like right here, it says mobile Yelp, right? And I guarantee you, it'll say the same on this one. And for cleaning companies, yep, it's mobile Yelp right here. For cleaning companies, what I see more often than not for some of the big ones is Yellow Pages, Yelp, and Manta, like consecutively. Those 3 are always at the bottom, and those are trusted. Google's saying that these are trusted sources. That's why.
So would it be a good idea for them to get some reviews on those as well? Would that help their? Yeah, that could even help their Google My Business ranking.
It does, because what it does is that it, and I'm not going to get into why I know that, but it absolutely does. Google pulls in information from like Facebook, from Yelp, from TripAdvisor, if you're certain businesses, from like all these different, review businesses, and or people can review you, and then it basically does like a summarized listing of your Google rating really should be this, right? it's how they're combating spam right now.
So, and again, goes back into that whole thing of show Google you're real. give them proof that you're real. That's always what I've talked about. Exactly. So, okay, well, good. Anything else about directories, or should we move on to number 4?
No, directories, like I said, they're really easy to do if you want to do them yourself. Basically all you have to have is your name, address, phone number, website, a description, and a logo. But if you know about geotagging, that's a great place to turn around and upload that, because not all of those companies strip the data.
Before we move on to number 4, somebody's asking if there's a data aggregator you'd recommend. Now, would that be something we want to save for the course, or should we tell them about maybe one right now?
Like you're not going to go order them directly yourself from an individual, right? Like Foursquare is now an aggregator, okay, where it wasn't 2 years ago. And if you go to them directly, it's a crazy price. But if you were to go to some of these other companies like Web20 or like Bright Local, you can purchase them, and I think they're $65 or $75 for 3 of them. I think it's 3. So versus if you went to try to do it through Foursquare by itself, I think it's over $100 for the one, something like that. Yeah, I haven't done it in so long through an individual like that I don't know the exact price, but it's a significant amount more.
Sure. We'll get more into that, Norman, as we get into the course. We've got several specifics. There's kind of a lot to that. Also, too, even if you turn it into an aggregating service, you need to make sure that you have everything set the right way, because there's a lot of bad things you can do when you turn that in. So, yeah, that's a good question, David Scott. How do you clean up multiple listings? That's really going to be one of the best ways, I would think, would be through a data aggregator, or just even sometimes you've individually got to go and run reports and check where they're at, and then contact that individual, because you should have a login for all the individual directories and citations, contacting them to change it or requesting a change. Is that kind of the quick nutshell that you'd say, or what else would you say?
Yeah, it's best to do that through an agency. Like, I hate to say it like that. That window cleaning company, if they would have contacted me, I had to clean up a few citations still for them. But they spent 80 hours trying to clean up the mess that they had, versus if they would have just went through us, we would have had it done for them in under, I don't know, 2 weeks maybe. And the cost of them on their own time doing that for 80 hours. I mean, think about how much money they lost in revenue by doing that.
Exactly. Yeah. So, okay, great. So getting back into actually setting up the Google My Business profile, because even though you probably already got it set up, guess what? You can still tweak it. You can still make some of these changes we're going to talk about. There is an insider hack that you can do to really making sure some of your keywords are added to your services and products inside of your Google My Business. So show us that. How do you do that?
Okay. So this is really crazy. I love this kind of stuff right here. Like, this is what keeps me up at night and wakes me up early. And it sounds totally crazy that it's like that. But like, it's like, I literally kind of like snicker when I think about this, because what we're doing is we're saying, Google, how do you learn? Now let me give you that information so I can show you why I'm better. Right? And this is really neat, because like most even agencies don't even know you can do this. I'm going to show you what they do, and then versus what they should be doing. And I think it's why we train so many agencies, to be honest with you, on stuff like this. So when we're in our info here, right, we look and, okay, so we already know we're landscaper. So when we go to the side, we can start with services. So under landscaper, there's like, if I go to add something, there's nothing else. There's not most of the time they just click next, like add, right? So what we do is we say, okay, so what we do is we're landscapers, which means landscaper, landscaping. Those are both 2 separate search terms plus our location, right? So let's say, so I have landscaping Dayton, Ohio, but I don't have landscaping Dayton. So then I literally go like this. Click save. And it's going to turn around and it's going to say that it went right through. So we're good. And then what I do is I'll come over here and then I'll put my description in. And then it'll be something, again, in reference to this. And most of the time I pull something like that off of the website, and you get 300 characters here. So what we're doing, remember when I said that we are trying to take Google and we're telling you in the reviews to put your city in there, because they're already going to say carpet cleaning if you're a carpet cleaner, or they cleaned my carpet, or, you know, so those words start to come together. But now what we're doing is we're pumping it in there again, right? And, you know, the neat thing is that we see, like, all these listings here that are up in here, these all come from just say add another service, and then there's our options that Google says, oh, you probably do all these things.
Yeah, definitely. That is sweet. That is sweet. And I would be willing to bet most of you, there might be one or two of you that are doing that, but most of you probably aren't. So do it.
No, I guess. Yeah, most agencies don't even do that. Like, you mention that and they say you can't do that.
Yeah.
And you're like, it says you can add custom into it, right?
Yeah.
So I can't
do it. And again, that may or may not make or break whether you rank, but it definitely is going to help, and it could make or break whether you rank.
Well, it could, because sometimes you literally are at that point where you're teetering. Right. And all this does is just tells Google, hey, look, this is what we do.
Good stuff. Good stuff. So before we move on, we do have two more things that I want to go over with you guys. One is super important as well. We did add a fifth inside hack. We're going to go ahead and give you guys that in just a minute. We'll probably be able to take a few questions since we might have a few more minutes depending on how long this last hack. So we're going to do that in just a minute. But before we move on, I did want to take just a minute and a half to tell you guys about the new course that we're actually starting. We've got a new course that we're starting specifically on Google My Business, as you can guess. And let me show you my screen, and we'll kind of go over this. And I'll give you guys the link right here. Now, there's two ways that you can become part of this course. One, if you already are in the ad club, you have access to the course. Well, not yet, but you're going to have access to the course. We're going to be launching it in just a few days. So you will have access to the course. If you're not in the ad club, there is the link for the ad coaching club. You can sign up and you will be part of this course amongst all other kinds of bonuses. You get access to the free software for getting Google reviews and even scheduling if you want to use it for that. You get hundreds and hundreds of templates for postcards, Google AdWords course. You'll see all that on that link. I won't take up the time to go over that. But if, let's say, for some reason, all you want is Google My Business course, you don't want to be part of the ad club, you do have the option to sign up at this other link that I gave you right here and sign up there. Now, the thing about this is we're going to be limiting the first 25 people to getting a $100 discount. So right now it's $197. Again, if you're in the ad club, don't do this. You're already going to get access. Or if you've been thinking about joining the ad club, now's a great time. So if you're not wanting to be in the ad club and you only want the Google My Business course, sign up. It's $197. The price after 25 signups is going to go up to $297. So in the next, I don't know how long it's going to take to get that many, but I would sign up as quick as you can if you want to make sure that you're one of those first 25 people. Within the course, we're going to really go over how to optimize your Google My Business profile from A to Z. The things that we talked about tonight so far are just a few things. There's a lot more. And, we even talked about it could be a 30-hour course altogether. We're not going to take that much time with this course. What we plan on doing is breaking it up to 3, maybe 4 weeks, and some Q&A, and just laying out more, answering all of your questions about all of this stuff, the data aggregators and everything else. So the biggest factors that Google looks at in ranking and getting your listing going, 5 things to make sure that you include on your actual website, to relay those back and make sure that Google is seeing that website and relay that back to your Google My Business pages. More keys to getting backlinks that help you rank. You cannot rank on Google My Business in some cities, in some areas. You cannot rank without having some of these links that go back to your Google My Business page. Vital places to put your keywords, how to get the right reviews. We've even talked a little bit about that tonight, but more in depth on that. And just other dangerous mistakes that I see a lot, and Michael sees even more than I see about places and things that you could do to accidentally get delisted. We're also going to have a bonus module on ranking on YouTube. Michael's actually a really great expert too on getting videos ranked on YouTube. So if you want your YouTube videos seen, we're going to take up a whole module and possibly even a whole webinar to answer questions about that, to teach you guys about that. And this is for Ad Club members as well. For anybody who wants a quick, like 5-minute glance at their Google My Business profile, maybe Michael can sometimes go in and look and be able to see something that you don't see that's wrong. So we'll look at some of your Google My Business profiles and give you feedback, just a quick 5-minute feedback if you want to have that done. And then, of course, the 60-day money-back guarantee. If you actually do some of these things that we're teaching and you say, hey, it didn't help me within 60 days, let me know. We'll give you your money back. I don't, at that point, I don't want your money, if you actually did some of the work and it did, but we know it will. If you actually do some of this stuff, we know it's going to help you. We know it's going to help your business. So that's the link. And again, I'm not going to take up a ton of time to talk about it. It's right there. First 25 people will get in for $197. After that, the price will go up to $297. Ad Club members, again, if you're in the Ad Club or if you're going to join the Ad Club in the next few days, you get access to this course for free. So you can be part of the Ad Club. It's $137 a month. We gave you the link there just a second ago. Go to the Ad Coaching Club sign up page, which is right here. Scroll down to the bottom and get signed up. Lots more that's involved with that. You got a lot of stuff with that. Okay, so that's enough. We don't need to talk about that anymore. I'll go ahead and turn the screen over to you, Michael. And if you guys did have any questions about that, let me know. But I did want to make sure that I went ahead and told everybody about the fact that the price will be going up for that. And you don't have to be in the Ad Club to become part of that course and to get access to the course. So as far as hack number 5, getting backlinks from your Google My Business website. Or, I'm sorry, getting backlinks on Google My Business. So we're going to go into that profile here in just a minute. But you can actually get backlinks from your Google My Business profile that go to your website that greatly helps out your search engine optimization. So tell us a bit about that and even show us some of ways that you can get those backlinks.
Sure. So it's actually really easy for that. First, I guess what I should say is that you got to remember your website and your GMB work symbiotically, like together, but also independent, right? So just because you rank one doesn't mean that the other always follows. So, but the good thing is that you can use one to help feed the other one. So, and this is one of those great cases. I had actually missed one when we were talking earlier. So when we go into our info, there's the basic one, right? Everybody knows you put your website right here for URL, right? Where clearly it says, please put your website.
That's one of the hardest ones to miss, but yes, do that one.
Okay. Then you can add the same thing to your appointment link.
Okay.
So there's another one, right? Or if you can take appointments on your website, which is ideal in today's world, you'd put it there because, believe it or not, people don't like to talk to people very much anymore.
Right. So let's talk about that for just a second. Some members, some clients of mine use our scheduling service. Some of them use other scheduling services where the actual schedule isn't on their website. Is that a good idea to send them to that other secondary site, or should they put that still on their website and it's better to put it on their website because they're getting the traffic juice to their website?
So it really depends. If they're getting a lot of bookings through that, then you go with what you have, right? But if you can keep it for yourself, it's better. So, if you're getting bookings, then you use it. But if you have a booking service, but then you don't use it, it's kind of pointless.
Absolutely. So if you have to, but I would think our service, actually, you can embed the calendar on the web page. I think that's a huge benefit because then you're getting the traffic actually to your website. You can cookie them, follow them around on Google remarketing, and it's just a whole lot better, SEO search engine plan, at that point. But if you have to, send them to, whatever other site that you're using. So, okay, what else?
Absolutely. So that's just to get us going there, right? Just getting warmed up. All right. And then so we have those two. Then what's really neat is even though we are service-based businesses, one of the things that people don't do is they don't take the same services that they have over here and then place it as a product, right? And Google wouldn't offer both of those if it didn't want you to fill it out. It would say, oh, you're a service-based business, you only get service. So what happens is you add a photo, you do your product name, like it could be landscaping, right? And it's a new product in the product category, and then you put your description here. But what's really neat is you can turn around and put order online, and then you drop your link in right here.
And that would be to your booking page or to your estimate form page, that type of thing?
Absolutely, yeah, or just straight to your website. So that way they can call.
And now you have more links going to your website from Google. Google loves that.
Google absolutely loves that. You can put it in services too. It doesn't hyperlink, but it still recognizes it and reads it, which isn't a bad thing, right? So you could technically put it in right here. But where the other place you can get it, it's a little bit sneaky, right, is they actually give you a website, whether you know it or not. In fact, all of your posts, when you do post and pictures, go on this website here.
Gotcha.
So what you could technically do is like right here where it says get a quote, right? It pulls it from that over there. So it's already giving you another link on their website. And you can rank these. This is the URL of it right here, where it's Merrick Patio Landscape.co for company, right? .business.site. But like, let's say that I wanted to, say I wanted to edit something. So I can come over here to edit. And then under get a quote, you can put or contact us, right? You have all these options. And then you have headers. And then you can go to the summary of the body. So in the body, you can put website.com, click the link button, and then website.com. And as soon as you click OK, you have a hyperlinked another link right there.
Sweet. That is cool. Yeah, see, and a lot of, I'd never really thought about doing it just like that. So I like it. I like it.
Yeah, it's really neat. It really gives you that extra little something. And the neat thing is by intertwining all that, it really helps. It's almost like, I'm not trying to go too deep, but it's like if you have blogs on a website and then you link to your different blogs, right? It helps create more authority within the website. And it does the same thing here by linking out to your website from the Google My Business.
Excellent. Excellent. Good stuff. Good stuff. So anything else to add for that part of it?
Mike had asked, not for this part, I wanted to answer his question though. He says, how do you find out your true organic rankings? And I think that that's actually a great question. And the reason that's a great question is because when we're looking at it, as soon as we click on it, like you know as well as I do as a marketer, you get cookied by Google, right? So there's some debate in our own world about like if you use Chrome, you can get a Chrome extension called Incognito. It's free. You can use that one. That one works pretty well. It's not always 100% accurate, but
they could even open up an incognito mode on their browser.
Yeah, actually, you know what? If you go, if you have Apple for like your iPhone, right? Click on the privacy button to go to the other one, so that way it doesn't store cookies at all. And you can search on your phone, and you'll see that but this is the only caveat to that, is that mobile returns and desktop returns are not always the same. So, but it's a clean slate. That's what you're looking at.
Especially if it's in the private mode. Perfect. And we're probably going to get into, I mean, that's kind of the short end of your question, the answer to your question, Mike. In the course, we're probably going to get into that a little bit more in detail. I don't know that it's the most, I don't know. I guess it is a good idea to find out where you truly are. That way, I don't know who's ranking above you or where you're really at. Sometimes you can get false readings if you're just looking at it from your regular browser. And then,
right. The biggest problem though is that, like he's saying, he found that it ranks different depending on your location, and absolutely. Right. And the reason for it is that a number of years ago, Google kind of hobbled the Google My Business platform and made it so that way you have a reach that it only goes so far. And because of that, depending on how big the city is, I mean, if you're on the outskirts of Houston and you're on the opposite side, I mean, it's just, I'm going to be honest, you're not going to rank. And if you are going to rank, it's because you spent $5,000 or $6,000 a month for about a year to work with somebody like myself that could actually do that.
Right. And it's a long haul, but through applying some of the stuff we're going to talk about tonight that we already talked about, and some of the stuff we're going to talk about in the course, at bare minimum, you should be able to rank in that top 3 map area for, a 5 mile, 4 mile, 3 mile radius. I guess it depends on the size of the city too, but a certain radius around your area. And that's why, guys, like when I talk about neighborhood marketing all the time, if I'm going to do Google ads, I'm mostly going to do neighborhood Google ads, right? If I'm going to do postcard marketing, it's mostly going to be to that same area. And it's going to be close to one geographic area. We're going to hit and hone in on that one spot. That's why ideally it's near where your shop is at. And I know a lot of you service a place that's not close to where your shop is at, which is another whole thing. And that's why too, we're going to talk about in the course how to rank in an area where you're not at. And even, are we going to actually get into the grayish hat area of how to set up a second Google My Business listing? Are we really going to want to take a stab at doing some of that in this course, Michael?
I mean, I could add another module on for that. That wouldn't be such a big
we can
deal.
At least answer some questions maybe, or some guys.
Yeah, I would rather answer questions on it only so that way, like I don't have an issue with that. In fact, ideally, if I were in looking for big cities like Denver, Dallas, Houston, El Paso, stuff like that, I probably would create 5 in total, and it would be like a dice, like a number 5, 2 here, 2 here, and 1 here. And by doing that, I have enough overlapping sections that by the course of 12 months goes by, I pretty much have locked down all the business that I can handle or that business could possibly dream about handling.
Right. So yeah, we can answer some questions about that, because that's always surprised nobody's asked about that yet, but that's a very common question that I get every time we talk about Google listings and things like that. So, okay, before we get into any other by the way, if you guys have questions, now's the time. I don't know if we've answered most of them as we've gone along, but we might have time for a couple of more. If you guys want to pop those into the Demio chat area. Anything else to add, Michael, about I don't know, the backlinks or anything else that we've talked about?
Not on that. I did see one comment or question about the description, and that's pretty simple. Usually what I would do if it were me, because if I were a service-based business, what I would do is I'd pick another city at quite a distance away from me that's not a chain, and I would look at what they have, then the people that are in the top 3 for their descriptions, and I would kind of mimic that a little bit, but make it my own words. That's what I would do. But the only thing I would add to that is make sure that you talk about, again, remember it's content strategy, so your service plus your city needs to be in there also.
And did you say for that, do pick somebody that's not a chain to do that with?
Yes, not
exactly. Good. Okay, well, great. Let's see if we have any other comments, questions. Anybody? What about bogus 2-star reviews with no comments from people you've never worked for? I hate those. But what would you do with those?
Well, there's actually a Facebook group I suggest, because nobody wants to pay to get those removed because it's expensive. If you only have one and you have 95 reviews and everything else is 5-star, I always tell everybody it sucks. I know, leave it alone. But if not, there's a couple of Facebook groups that you can actually join. And in the Facebook group, that's part of it, is you're supposed to also flag reviews for people that are bogus reviews. Because basically what's happened is that Google says, suck it up, right? And because of that, it's made it so that way it's easier. They have tightened the review stuff, though, I can tell you, since December, quite a significant amount, but it's still going to happen, to be honest with you. And to be honest, it's probably your competitor. If you're taking business
and sometimes it's, one time, I had I won't get into the specifics, but yeah, for stupid reasons, things happen. So yes, I think you should always respond to them. And I would even, if it's somebody that's not a customer, I had this happen in my own cleaning business, 1 star. And I was like, here's the thing. I've looked through all my database. I don't see you. I don't know who you are, or we've never done business with you. So unless you're under some type of a pseudo name, and even then, we don't remember ever hearing a complaint remotely like the one that you're asking about. I'm the owner. I would have gotten that. And that's how I responded. And it kind of make what you want to kind of do in a professional way. You don't want to get on there and go, that's stupid, you're dumb. Be very professional. Just like I mentioned, I've looked you up in the database. I'd love to help you. For one, I'd love to help you with this. I've looked you up in the database, though, and I can't really identify who you are and when we did business with you, so I don't see you. Can you give us a call? Because nothing like this is listed. We've never gotten a call that's anything near this complaint. So I don't know who you are or how to get a hold of you. Please help me help you,
Right. Yeah. That's the big thing is, you want to address that it's that you've not ever seen or dealt with this person. And B, you want to be seen as reaching out an olive branch to make it right.
Right.
And by that, when people are reading the responses on the reviews, they'll see that.
Right. So basically, you want them to look at that and go, well, geez, I guess this is either a bogus review, or they've done everything in the world to make this right, and these people are insane. That's the air that you want to leave with whenever you get a bad review. But yeah, the big thing is drown it out with good reviews. I wonder too if even in the cleaning, my cleaning marketing group, we could probably do things where we report, other reviews. Some of the guys in there are Google local, whatever that I'm tagged as that, but which I think helps a little bit from what I understand if you do report something. But yeah, maybe we should start doing that a little bit more. You think that would help if we did that, like in even our cleaning groups?
Yeah, it definitely would help, because you get 100 people flag it, and it's going to get Google attention.
Right. So that's something I think we should start doing, actually, starting now. We used to do stuff like that actually years ago in the cleaning marketing group. Kind of why I even started it originally was I did a Facebook course when groups first started on Facebook, and I was like, let's have a group and talk about some of this stuff. And I'd only used to let people in that were part of my coaching club and part of that course, just and then eventually other people started inviting other people, and now we got 5,000 people in it. It's kind of how that kind of birthed into what it birthed into. So
I will caveat that, though, if they put no comment on there, it's probably not going to come off.
Really?
Yeah,
Really? Okay. Well,
but
it won't hurt though, if you get enough.
But those scathing reviews by a person that never used them before, those will come off.
Right. So good. So, yeah, like Karen's saying, I'm sorry you're unhappy with their service. However, well, you wouldn't say, however, I wouldn't just end however, it wasn't us. You might want to say, because then you're almost defensive at that point. So don't leave it just in that error. I would leave it with I've looked you up in the database. I've looked up your name. I can't find that name anywhere, and probably even mention that name that person's never used this. Could it be under somebody else's name that you used? I mean, what can you give me you're pulling for straws for even trying to, because really I want to find out who you are so I can make it right if it is a good real person. You know what I mean? So that's kind of the air that you want to give it. So don't take offense and go, oh, it's not you. It's not you're nobody. You're nobody that's ever used this. You're fake. Yeah, I probably wouldn't call it that, but say, I'd like to know. Call me. I can't find you anywhere in our database. Call me. I'd like to make this right. That's kind of the air that you want to leave it with. Kill them with kindness and professionalism. Exactly. You got it. So, okay. Well, any other, I don't see any other questions coming in. We just are, hey, we're right at the top of the hour right here. So that is perfect. I will put the link up again to the Google My Business course. And keep in mind, again, I always get ad club members that wonder, am I going to be part of the course? Yes, yes, yes. You get in for free. If you're not part of the ad club, you can join the ad club, or you can sign up for the course right there at that link. The first 25 people get a $100 discount. After that, it will go up to $295. Michael, we haven't given them your phone number too. Michael's available, by the way, for one-on-one consults, for even doing Google My Business work, for SEO, that type of thing. If you guys know me, I a lot of the time shy away from, because I just don't have that much time, and I don't have a full-time staff just for doing SEO. Michael does. This is what he does. So if you could put in, Michael, your either your email, phone number, whatever you want to put in.
Yeah, let's start. Well, yeah, let's do email, because tomorrow's my anniversary, and if I start taking calls tomorrow, my wife's going to shoot me.
Yeah, email him first.
Yeah, married.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you know what I'll do is I'll also give you, I will give you my mobile number, but I will tell you after Monday is when I'll be able to take calls, because it's a 24-year anniversary.
Gotcha.
So
nice.
I cannot take phone calls.
I gotcha. I just celebrated 25 for me last December.
Okay.
Yeah. Congratulations to you too. There's
that literally goes straight to me, and I'm the owner of the company, so that's kind of a big deal.
Perfect. So don't call them though until Monday. Email them tonight if you want. Email them tomorrow, but don't call them until Monday. Good, Frank. That's awesome. So, all right, guys. Well, we're going to be starting the course next week. You'll probably be getting some of the preliminary videos. So it's going to be made up of a few things. We'll have some handouts. We'll have videos, training, and we'll have webinars just like tonight, really breaking down the specifics, answering all your questions and hashing all of this out. And we're going to be doing it over the next 3 or 4 weeks. So just like a lot of the other courses we've done before, just really putting it all out there, giving you guys as much information, answering all the questions that we can answer on how to help you with Google My Business. I'm looking forward to doing this. And yeah, this will be posted on the Ad Club site. I'll probably even post this for the next 48 hours or so for everybody else. But part of the Ad Club, you'll get access to this webinar replay. It'll be part of the course. You'll get access to this forever. You'll have access to the recording once I get that up, probably for 2 days. I'm not going to leave it up forever, but I'll leave the recording up for just a little bit. So if you guys have any questions too, shoot me a message, shoot me an email, john@hitmanadvertising.com, shoot Michael an email, and I'll be glad to help you. This is what we do. This is what we're all about, what we do day in, day out, help people with this kind of stuff. So, Michael, thank you. It's been great. Thank you for coming on here, and I look forward to the next few weeks and, hashing this stuff out and really going over this with these guys.
Yeah, absolutely. It's my pleasure. It's always a lot of fun. I love this stuff.
Awesome. Thanks. We'll see you guys. God bless. Have a great night. Talk to you guys soon. Bye.